$1,600 on the SATs.
Welcome back. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Hannah and I am a student at Yale University and I'm taking a gap semester right now. So I'm going to try to focus on making a lot of videos for y'all and about the college application process. I actually, if you can tell, I just filmed a video about advice on like stats and extracurriculars and posted that a little bit ago, but I'm filming it the same day, so if I look like almost exactly the same, I just filmed that video today. But now I am posting this video talking about SATs and how you can raise your SAT score. Little backstory, if you haven't heard my stats yet, I had about a 1500 on the SAT, and I started, the first time I took the SAT, I got about an 1100, and wow, so you must be thinking, how did you go up about 400 points? That's how I'm gonna tell you guys. Honestly, it took a lot of work, and it might not happen for everyone, but you have to put in the work and you have to put in the time and the effort. And so if you're cramming and your SAT is this month, you might not be able to go up that many points. Like, this was over a span of months. I took my first SAT, let's look. I took my first SAT the fall of my junior year, and my last one the summer before my senior year. So that's the whole kind of cycle, and it wasn't until like the highest score I got was a super score. Yeah, none of my scores were like a perfect 1500, but it was super score. A lot of colleges do that. Yale did that, and yeah, so I'm going to talk about how I went up though about 400 points. First things first, I would say get a good practice test book. I don't have mine with me right now, but I'll put a little picture up. I think people call it the blue book for SAT studying, by College Board. And if you don't want to get that book, there's also all of the tests that in there are on Khan Academy online. So you just have to make an account and it's all free. But I did get the book because I believe it's better to simulate the test-taking experience as much as possible. So I would clear everything off of my desk. I would take that book out, have my 3 pencils already and sharpened, and have a timer, put my phone away, and yeah, that's why I like taking it on paper with that book. But also, you can then take a picture of your sheet on the app that comes with the book, and also you can connect it to Khan Academy, so the score you have will be connected to your Khan Academy account, and then from there they will recommend what things you need to study more based on the score and the things you got right or wrong on your SAT practice test that you took. What I would do is I would take a practice test about once a month. In those span of months I was practicing. And so after I took the practice test, I would go back and look at everything that I got wrong, and I would make a different marking on why I got it wrong. So one reason would be I thought I did it right, which that is, you need to like star that, because if you thought you did it right and you did it completely wrong, you need to look over that. And then the second reason could be you don't know it at all. The third reason could be you got stuck in between two and you just chose the wrong one. So going back to the first reason, which you thought you did it right, say if it's a math question, you need to look at that math question. What type of math is it? Algebra? What is it? To see what the actual way to do it is. And similar for if you don't know how to do the question at all, then look at the actual way how to solve it. And then if you were in between two, I would, like in the book, it gives the reasoning why one is and why one isn't the right answer. And so I would just compare the two that you were stuck in between and see how it makes sense that the right answer is the right answer. I hope that all made sense. That kind of was like a lot of information. But yeah, basically go through the practice test that you took by yourself and see why you got each answer wrong. And yeah, so that's just a good test review strategy. And then do the Khan Academy skills until the whole rainbow is filled. I'll just put a little graphic, but there's different sections where you can have like rainbows of like how skilled you are with the level. And then when the whole little rainbow thing arch is filled, that means that you are good with that skill. And so that's what I would do. And I tended to focus a lot on math because my reading score was much higher than my math score. So that's just like test practice strategies, what I did to practice, how I kind of managed that time. Every day I would do at least 15 minutes of practice, and I tracked that with Khan Academy as well. Now just focusing on test taking strategies, how when you're taking the test you can kind of maximize your ability to do well. These are things that I found worked for me, and of course everyone is a different learner, everyone works differently, so if you find these strategies do not work for you, then do not use them. But for the test taking strategies, it's going to be different for each person. Okay, what I would say is to focus your mind on one thing at a time. When you are taking the test, whether it's the practice test or the real test, I found for me, when I am answering the question, going back and forth between choosing the answer and then bubbling it in, that gets me kind of distracted, and then I have to readjust and be like, okay, what's the question? Bubble it in, question, bubble, question, bubble, question, bubble. And I'm just going back and forth between two different jobs, and that's not allowing me to focus all of my energy on the questions only. And so that's what I would recommend doing. During the time you're taking the test, the proctor is usually writing down how much time you have left. So what I would do, say it is the math section, one of the math sections, I would do all of the questions, all of the problems, and star any that I were a little confused about, thought were harder, and I would just circle them on the actual test, right? And then I would do that until I was done with the section, and I would make sure there was at least 15 minutes left for me to go back and then bubble it in. So again, I'm gonna say I did all of the questions, I marked it on the test, the part where it says like A, B, and C, I circled one of them, and then I was paying attention to the time. When there was 15 minutes left, I would go back to the beginning of the section and then bubble my answers in. What that did was it helps me focus on just the math and then bubbling and not going back and forth. Even though like bubbling seems like it's just a mindless activity, it just switches the gears in your brain. So then also when I was going back and bubbling the questions that I had starred, I would review my answer and look at it with like a fresh set of eyes, and see if I want to change it or not. But then I would bubble. And 15 minutes was ample time for me to do that. You might have to work it out with yourself and like see what's good for you, but that's what worked for me. And yeah, so that was the number one strategy that helped me a lot. Yeah, and it just really made my score go up because I had that time to review and I had that focus when I was first answering the question. Okay, I guess another strategy for me, it's not really like a strategy, but it's just kind of like a mindset that I needed to have during the test, was to focus on answering the questions well, to focus on doing the problems, answering the reading questions, and thinking, just focus on thinking and thinking about the test. And I feel like a lot of the times, like when I first started taking the SAT, I'm just like, I gotta do perfect, but I have like no time, and like I don't understand math, and like I'm terrible at this, I'm gonna fail, and like I'm just thinking all of that stuff while I'm taking the test. But I know it's definitely hard and harder for some people, but before the test I would just take a few breathers and just focus on the test.
Focus on the road. There is nothing but the road.
Also going with that, the day before the test, I would not recommend cramming at all. I'd recommend using that day for just a relaxing day, kind of just getting you prepared for the test, going to bed early, waking up semi-early, having a slow start to the day, maybe a nice cup of coffee, a nice cup of tea, like whatever floats your boat, and just going in calm, trying to be calm as possible. Obviously, some people have testing anxiety and it's much harder to control, but that is what I did. If you watched the video to now, comment the SAT sucks, but like say like SUX, because that's what at Yale we say. Like JE slogan is JE sucks, which is residential college at Yale. And yeah, so I thought that'd be cute. So I know you guys are watching this whole video to say SAT sucks, the SAT sucks, and I will shout you out in my next video. And y'all who watched my last video to the end, here y'all are. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate all of your support, and maybe I could do a more fun shout out at the end, like a rap or something. And next time, if you want, let me know. I will freestyle rap for you guys. Even though I'm terrible, and if you saw one of my other videos, you will know that I'm terrible. But thank you guys. I love you. And please, please, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the flippity flip. Adios.